Hi, my name is Dave the Turner. This is what I looked like a couple years ago. Since then, I've lost some weight and some hair, and you probably wouldn't even recognize me. So anyway, this video is primarily targeted toward the camera crew for the Metaverse Academy. The intent is to standardize on what is probably the optimum method for recording video with audio in Resonite. So I'm going to start off fairly simply and talk about how OBS can be configured to record on the desktop. You can record Zoom sessions or games or podcasts or movies, and then show how that can be easily modified to record in Resonite. I have two instances of OBS running right now. I'm using one to record this video, and it's in studio mode, which allows me to do something like this. Cool. And the other one is the one you're seeing right now on the screen, and that's going to be the demo version that is right now is in its basic default mode. It's like fresh out of the box. So let's get started. Now, first you'll notice that there are two panels on the left side. The upper panel is called Scenes, and the lower panel is called Sources. Scenes are like a selection of configurations for different purposes. Right now there's one scene. It's the default that comes when you first install. And then down here, it doesn't have any sources defined yet, so it's empty. So we'll start with this scene and configure it to record just a simple video on the desktop. For the purposes of this demonstration, I have a video already queued up on another monitor. That's the one that we're going to use. So to create a source, I go down here to this plus sign, and it brings up the Add Source dialog box or menu. And I can choose a display to capture, and I'll come down here. This opens a properties box, and I'm going to select a display, and I happen to know that I want this one. So now you see that there's video in the display. Notice also that there is sort of an intruder in here. This is not something I would want to record. So I'll show you an option that may be preferable. Rather than capturing a display, let's capture a window. So I have this window, and it says select a window to capture, and here's my show and tell video. Now you notice that you don't see that overlay anymore. It's still there on the monitor. I can still see it, but it's not going to show up in the stream. All right, so that's probably a better way to do it. So I'm going to delete the display capture. So you could click record now and make a video, but there wouldn't be any audio. So the next thing we want to do is add an audio source. So if I click the plus sign, I get the add source menu. And now I'm going to add an audio source. I want an audio output capture. Now, when I go to select one, I can use the default. The default says use whatever is the default in your operating system. But I prefer to use speakers on my computer. So if I click OK, now you'll notice that there's a little VU meter down here, an audio meter. And so when there's sound coming in through the system speakers, it'll register here. And you can see that also that the source is listed here in this panel. So I'm going to start the YouTube video and see what happens.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you saw that it registered here. Now I want to add an audio source that will capture voice. And so if I come up here to audio input capture and add a new captured source, and instead of default, I'm going to capture my voice from this microphone on my desktop. And now there are two meters down here, and you can see this one is registering. All right, so now if I play the video.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Now the video's playing, and I'm talking,
okay.
and you
Hi,
can see
and
here that
welcome to Show and Tell.
They're separate.
Okay, Show and Tell rules. Okay.
Okay, there's still a few things to do in order to make sure that the audio is properly recorded. I'm going to go to the settings menu, and I'm under output. First of all, I want to make sure that I'm recording the video to where I want it to go. So what I usually do is I have an OBS folder configured, and then under OBS I create a directory or a folder for each day that I'm going to be recording. So today I'm going to put this recording in the 13th of August 2026, and under a special folder called demo. Okay, so there's that. Now down here you notice under where it says audio track, there are 6 boxes that are checked. That means whatever audio we record is going to go to 6 different tracks in the output. Well, we're only going to use 2 of them, so let's uncheck the rest of them. So now we have 1 and 2 checked. I want to point out here under the audio, where it says global audio devices, I have not selected anything. Everything is disabled. I used to select these sources for audio output, and it worked, but it was also very difficult to modify or configure if I was changing scenes or changing configurations. And I also want to say that under the output, I choose to record in MKV. I've read up on it and studied it, and it's basically the better way to go for several different reasons. Now, the other thing we have to do is configure the advanced audio properties. And again, now we have both audio sources here. There's the audio coming from the YouTube, and here's the audio coming from the microphone. And each one of them has 6 boxes for tracks. So that means it'll send all the audio to all 6 tracks. Now, we're only going to use 2, so the first thing I would do is just say, let's eliminate 3, 4, 5, and 6 on each one of them. The other thing is that I don't want both of them to be on both tracks. So the way I like to work is I like to put the microphone audio on the bottom track so that I always know where it is, and it's easy for me to work. I don't have to think. So I'll turn off track 1 here, and the microphone audio goes to track 2. So then the audio from the YouTube video goes to track 1. So here's my configuration. Now I think we're ready to try it out. I'm going to make a short recording, and then we're going to bring up DaVinci and see what it looks like. So I'm going to start the recording, and then I'm going to start the YouTube video.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, hi, and welcome to
Burgers?
Show and Tell.
Hi, Amelia.
Okay, Show and Tell rules.
Oh, rules. We don't
Okay,
need to stick in
you can
rules.
present what you'd like made here or from IRL.
Okay, I think that's enough. So I stopped the recording, and now I'm going to jump over to DaVinci. Okay, here we have DaVinci. You don't have to know DaVinci, and I'm not going to try to teach DaVinci. I'm bringing this up to show why it is we're doing what we're doing. So what we have is 3 tracks here. One is a video track that is basically a copy of that YouTube video that I was just playing. This first audio track is the sound from that YouTube video, and the second audio track is the sound from my microphone. So this is where you can see that I was talking while the video was going on. So I'll go ahead and play it, and we'll see what it's like. And then I'm going to start the YouTube video.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, hi, and welcome to
Burgers?
Show and Tell.
Hi, Amelia.
Okay, Show and Tell rules.
Oh, rules. We don't need
Okay,
to stick in
you can
rules.
present what you'd like made here or from IRL.
Okay, I think that's enough. All right, well, you probably noticed that my voice wasn't very loud in there. Setting the levels in OBS is kind of a tricky operation. What I can do is change the audio levels in DaVinci. So I'm going to select the audio track for my voice and increase the volume, increase the gain. And just for fun, I'll take Amelia's voice and tone it down a little bit. Now let's see what it sounds like. And then I'm going to start the YouTube video.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, and welcome to
Burgers?
Show and Tell.
Hi, Amelia.
Okay, Show and Tell rules.
Oh, rules. We don't need
okay,
to stinking
you can
rules.
present what you'd like made here or from IRL.
Okay, I think that's enough. All right, well, that should get the idea across. And there are other things that can be done with this. Since it's in this state, we have the different audio tracks separate. So I can do things like if I don't like this thing that I said right here, I can edit that out. So I choose that section and then tone it way down or eliminate it. And then when I play later on, when I record.
Okay. Hi, and welcome to
Burgers?
Show and Tell.
Hi, Amelia.
Okay, Show and Tell rules.
Well, you heard it a little bit, but basically it's gone. There's a lot of things that can be done like that. There's also things in DaVinci that will process the audio to make it better. All right, I think that's enough about DaVinci right now. Okay, in a few minutes, we're going to talk about how to transition this to a configuration for recording in Resonite. I think the first thing I want to say is that notice that under scenes, this scene is called scene. And why don't we change that to make it more meaningful? So I can go to rename, and I'll change that scene to desktop capture. Okay, that's good enough. All right, let's create a scene. So I'm going to go down to this plus sign, and now I'm going to call this one Resonite Capture. You can call these whatever you want, of course. All right, we have an empty scene called Resonite Capture. So now we'll add sources. And I'm going to start with a video source, but rather than a window capture, I'm going to do a game capture. Window capture doesn't seem to work very well. So I come down here to the mode, and I'm going to say capture a specific window, and then choose Resonite. And bang, there it is. Okay. And now I want to add some audio sources, just like before. And I'll first go to audio output and choose Steam Streaming Speakers. Then for audio input, I choose Steam Streaming Microphone. Whoops, there we go. All right, so I think we're pretty much ready. What we have to do yet is make sure that our settings are good. Still have the same output. I want to make sure that it's only 2 tracks in the output. The audio looks okay. The audio is also MKV. That hasn't changed. Now we'll go to the advanced audio properties. We have the same 2 audio sources. And again, I want to select only 2 tracks for them to record to. And so I want the audio from the world, from Resonite, to go to track 1. So I'll eliminate that. And I want the audio from my microphone to go to track 2. So here we are, track 1 and track 2. All right, now let's see what happens. We'll see how that works. I'm going to start recording and suit up. I'll meet you in Resonite. All right, here we are. Here we are. Somewhere over a rainbow with Pink Floyd and jazz. All right, let's see how that worked. Okay, here we are in DaVinci again, and I've got the new clip loaded in here. Okay, let's play it and see what it sounds like. All right, here we are. Here we are. Somewhere over a rainbow. Pink Floyd. And jazz. Let's see how that works. Okay, there's a few things to notice here. For one, you notice that there's the same track arrangement. We have video, then the audio from the source, from my headset, and then the audio from my microphone. Now, notice one thing that's a little different is here we had to turn up the audio, turn up the volume for my voice, and turn down the volume from the world a little bit. So here it's kind of the other way around. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn up the volume on the world. You can see that happening there. I usually eyeball it and then I go back and listen to it. What you want is enough volume to be able to hear it clearly, but not so much that it starts clipping and snapping. And I'll turn up my audio, voice audio a little bit too. Now let's see what it sounds like. All right, here we are. Here we are. Somewhere over a rainbow. Pink Floyd. Jazz.
Took a walk out in the fields. Had a talk with a man about some kids. As I said,
Let's see how that works. Okay, I think that turned out pretty well. We'll go back to OBS again and talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so here we are back at OBS. And just to kind of review, we created two scenes. And one was set up to do desktop capture. And the other one actually is very, very similar the way it's set up. It just we have different audio and video sources, but the basic configuration is the same. Capture the microphone audio in one track, and we capture audio from the desktop or from Resonite in the other track, and that allows us a lot of flexibility in editing. All right, this is good for episode 1. I'm planning to do another episode where I talk about how I configure my OBS and to capture audio from the camera position while I'm flying it around, or from the static cameras on the switcher. Your drone cameras have listeners on them, and so you could do the same thing if you wanted to, and actually I think it would be a good thing in the long run. So we'll talk about that next time. Okay, adios.